UW-Madison Disability Resources Training, Module 2, Access and Accommodation at UW-Madison.
20th Century Timeline of Disability Rights from 1944 forward.
The University of Wisconsin system was required by federal law to afford protections to individuals with disabilities by Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act in 1977. The protections were reaffirmed with the passage of the Americans with Disabilities Act in 1990, and the first UW system formal non-discrimination policy was developed in 1988 and rearticulated by the Board of Regents in 1996.
1950s images of UW-Madison students who were blind reading Braille signage and using an early scan and read system.
However, assistance to students with disabilities at the University of Wisconsin-Madison was provided prior to any legal mandate to do so.
World War II soldiers and veterans on campus.
As early as 1944, veterans with disabilities enrolled at UW-Madison on the GI Bill.
A student who is blind uses the Perkins Brailler, and a professor meets with a student with mobility impairment.
And received assistance through the Dean of Students' office. Their disabilities were primarily mobility, visual, or hearing loss. Early accessibility advocates included Dean of Students Paul Ginsberg, Assistant Dean of Students Blair Matthews, and James Graskamp, a world-renowned faculty member in the School of Business and founder of the UW Real Estate Program.
Graskamp being pushed in his wheelchair across sidewalk on campus.
Graskamp, himself a wheelchair user as a result of the polio epidemic, was a driving force in creating opportunities for students with disabilities to be fully included in campus life. The McBurney Disability Resource Center is named in honor of Madisonian Mike McBurney.
Series of images of Mike McBurney from his arrival home from the hospital through graduation.
As a senior in high school, Mike had a severe spinal cord injury in a diving accident in Lake Mendota. Recovering from his injury but left with quadriplegia, Mike enrolled at UW in the 1950s. Family and friends helped Mike get into inaccessible buildings and classrooms, and faculty included Mike in classes via a telephone connection when necessary. Mike McBurney graduated Phi Beta Kappa from the College of Letters and Sciences in 1960 and completed his Juris Doctorate from the UW School of Law, graduating third in his class in 1963. After practicing law for 3 years, Mike was elected Dane County District Attorney, but died shortly after taking office. Graskamp approached the McBurney family with the idea of founding a disability services office in Mike's memory. With their support, and through the auspices of the Dean of Students' office, the McBurney Disability Resource Center was established in 1977.
Male student in a wheelchair shoots a basketball, and a female student sings from Braille music in a voice lesson.
Between 1977 and 1990, the campus saw a significant increase in the number of students registering for services through the McBurney Center. While the number of students with mobility, visual, and hearing loss remained relatively constant, approximately 100 total, the number of students with hidden disabilities, including learning disabilities, attentional disorders, and mental health disorders, rose rapidly.
Student watches live captions in a large lecture hall.
Requests for classroom accommodations, as opposed to environmental access and barrier removal, grew significantly during this period.
A program highlights words in an electronic textbook while reading.
Accommodations in test taking, conversion of printed course material to audio or electronic format, and assistance with note-taking also became increasingly common. In 1994 and 1995, the Committee on Access and Accommodation in Instruction facilitated passage of 2 significant faculty documents addressing classroom access. Document 1071 articulates faculty policy on access and accommodation in instruction. Document 1143 addresses alternative assessment for students with disabilities. The CAAI continues its work today, addressing current issues on campus, including but not limited to campus climate and the promotion of universal design principles in instruction across all academic disciplines. The CAAI is a shared governance committee and reports annually to the Faculty Senate. After the passage of the Americans with Disabilities Act, the campus also formed the ADA Task Force to conduct a campus accessibility audit and monitor compliance with the provisions of the ADA. This committee, currently named the Accessibility and Usability Committee, is advisory to the provost. Its membership includes representatives from Administrative Legal Services, Facilities Planning and Management, the General Library, Division of Information Technology, the Vice Provost's Office for Diversity and Climate, the Office of Equity and Diversity, Athletics, and the McBurney Disability Resource Center, as well as faculty and student members from across campus. The formal committee structures resulted in campus-wide policies regarding campus access. UW-Madison also developed a collaborative model for creating an accessible campus community. In addition to the McBurney Disability Resource Center, which serves students with disabilities, 3 other campus units have employees whose positions are fully or partially dedicated to accessibility concerns. The Office of Equity and Diversity coordinates accommodations for employees with disabilities. The OED Disability Coordinator and a network of campus personnel who primarily work in human resources work closely with employees and their supervisors to develop individual accommodation plans. The Division of Facilities Planning and Management employs a facilities access specialist who works at both the individual and building level regarding physical access, transportation, signage, and other environmental modifications. FP&M also provides information for visitors, manages web-based building maps with access information, and emergency information for campus members with disabilities. The Division of Information Technology assists the campus in maintaining compliance with the University Accessibility Policy that endorses compliance with Section 508 of the Federal Rehabilitation Act. The Web Accessibility Team assists webmasters, course instructors offering web-based courses, and department administrators in creating accessible web products. Other campus partners directly involved in promoting access and inclusion for people with disabilities include the General Library System, the Disability Studies Cluster, which is home to a number of the university's research and teaching activities in the field of disability studies, and the ADA Coordinator, housed in the Office of Administrative Legal Services.
Kathy Treba, Assistant Dean of Student Life and Director of the McBurney Disability Resource Center.
The number of students currently registered with the McBurney Center is about 1,000, or approximately 2% of the total UW population. This is consistent with national disability disclosure data in higher education. Students with hidden disabilities are now the majority of students requesting accommodation. Students with mental health disorders, followed by students with attentional disorders, are now the largest group of students seeking assistance through the McBurney Center. An emerging population is students living with chronic health conditions, such as lupus, organ transplant, Crohn's disease, and childhood diseases such as cystic fibrosis, juvenile diabetes, and childhood cancer survivors. Responding to the dynamic nature of disability and creating an inclusive higher education environment is a challenge our campus supports through a committed network of campus partners and collaborative systems.
McBurney Disability Resource Center, the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Video by Media Plus U, LCC. Executive Producer, Kathy Treba. Producer, Diane Woodbridge. Voiceover, Kathy Treba. Additional voiceover and audio descriptions, Deborah Clare. McBurney students and staff appearing in the video: Deborah Clare, Alex Imig, Kyle Loger, Megan Minster, Branson Minster, Molly Minster, Terry Erline, Jorge Luis Perez, Olivia Ramoino, Sam Schmidt, Todd Schwanke, Kate Scarta, Heather Lipinski-Stelgis, Ben Thomas, Kathy Treba, Elizabeth Van Deslunt, Diane Woodbridge, Chris Wergler, Zainab Ilmez. Special thanks, Georgiana McBurney Stebnutz. McBurney Disability Resource Center, Todd Schwanke. Department of Economics, Andres Aradias Lopez. Department of Social Work, Anna Haley Locke. UW-Madison Division of Information Technology, Christopher Blair Bundy and John Thompson. UW Archives, Vicki Tobias. Wisconsin Historical Society, Tom Olin. This training series was made possible by many generous contributions made to the McBurney Center Fund through the UW Foundation. For more information about the center and ways you can offer support, see www.mcburney.wisc.edu. Copyright 2012, UW Board of Regents.